It's a full-size replica of Robert Stephenson's 1830 steam locomotive, the Planet, the type of engine that was pulled the world's first intercity service on the Liverpool to Manchester Railway. In 1830, travelling in a carriage behind one of these engines at 25 miles per hour would have been the fastest and the most fashionable way to travel. Rail travel in the 1800s was a real challenge for engineers to work on. They tried to develop anything that went along rails, even horse-drawn carts. Several engineers had come up with a few ideas for steam trains, and although many of them worked, they were mostly slow and cumbersome. The best of the early machines were invented by this man, George Stephenson. He developed rail and trains into a fast and efficient way to travel, making it the transport of the future. So much so that he's been christened the father of the railways, even earning his portrait on one of these, a £5 note. And there he is beside another Stephenson, the loco, the rocket, built by his son Robert. For the Stephensons, making railways was a family affair, but the development of the Planet is due to Robert, who developed early locomotives into a fast and efficient transport for the future. And it was this 1830 Planet that was the most successful. It works on the same kind of principle as a car. You've got a foot clutch which you would depress to release the gears, but there's only two on this. There's only reverse and forward, so the driver would push that forward, release the clutch, he's in gear, so to speak. You'd have only got the two on this, not like five in a car, and then you'd open the throttle, full speed, let the steam into the cylinders, and you're off and rolling at about 27 miles per hour. George and Robert had to beat off a lot of competition to have their pioneering work accepted by railway committees, but the Planet type set the standard for steam locomotives for many years to come, and locos like this one were exported from Britain to many places throughout the world. Steam lasted on intercity routes in Great Britain for almost 140 years as the most common way for trains to be powered. Getting a steam train started and keeping it running is no easy task. For the steam to power the engine, water has to be boiled, and that means shoveling loads of coal into the firebox. Rather them than me. Those skills will have to be rekindled by drivers at the Museum of Science and Industry in Manchester. That's where this engine was built, and that's where it will steam into action as a working exhibit later this year, giving visitors to the museum a chance to ride and experience the pioneering days of steam once again. The friends of the museum have spent 6 years carefully planning and building the reproduction, making sure every rivet, bolt and wheel is in exactly the right place, and that everything is as authentic as possible. They based their work on the original drawings that Robert Stephenson had drawn up. There are over 160 sets of drawings like this one. No wonder it took 6 years to plan and build. Well, I'm sure the Stephensons, if they came back to life today, would be very proud and recognise this and approve in its appreciation of this fine reproduction. The only difference is the original Planet didn't have any brakes. But don't worry, this one, you'll be pleased to know, whoa, does stop.
Well, I still wouldn't trust John's driving even with the new brakes.
Yeah, that's school. Where is the school or tractor coming back in? Well, I don't know.